non-used resources would be donated to George Floyd's.
Hey everybody, I finally met Mac in person at People's Pride in Powderhorn Park. It was 99.9% masks. There were a few people, as Mac said, that were like, oh, I have to wear a mask, oh. And you know what? Mask Block had a variety of masks. So people could find out what works for them. There were only a few people that didn't have on masks, and I assume that they came from the sides of the park rather than the parking lot or the back way that's closer to modern times. But it was mostly masked, and it was great, and we all had a great time. It was a great turnout. I have videos on my YouTube channel. But yeah, so about resources going to George Floyd Square. There are a lot of people who weren't really involved in a lot of the internal things that went on at the square, and not even that far internal, honestly, as I will continue to explain, that probably don't understand why George Floyd Square is just not the community hub that it once was. And it's not just about traffic reopening. It's also about a whole lot of internal stuff that happened. Some of that stuff I'm going to leave it up to believe half of what you see and half of what you hear. There's a lot of stuff that I'm not involved in. But for the things that I am involved in, a lot of people will run off from George Floyd Square because the older people that more or less run the space or live there and stuff like that blew up at a lot of other people, mainly younger people like myself and the teen activist group that we had, and some other more militant groups, blew up at us and made it uncomfortable for us to want to come back. And we're all Black. We all have the same generational trauma that comes out in different ways, also in accordance with our different lifetime traumas that we're dealing with. Blowing up at people like that and there being no accountability, no call-in. When you try to address it with people, they say, I don't run anything. You're going to have to talk to that person directly when that person's the person who caused you harm. George Floyd Square is not the community hub that it once was. And I urge people to consider other community hubs to distribute resources. The Sabathani Center is a great place. Agate is a great place. I don't know about Avivo, but for things like masks and tests, Avivo might want those. Just please go forward in the future being more creative with where you take resources, and also please consider places in St. Paul. Because, or, your mask block, you can keep those and continue to redistribute them through Mask Block, although I do understand that as of right now, Mask Block does have less than 10 volunteers. Or at least, as of this recording, that I know of from what I got from the website or the request form, because I did request some masks before People's Pride and also some tests. So yeah, this is more or less just a PSA of hey, George Floyd Square ain't what it used to be, and there are people that are responsible for that. Please consider other places to distribute resources, because a lot of people have been made unwelcome at George Floyd Square, and you're looking at one of them. So yeah, I hope y'all had a great Pride season. Well, a great Pride month, because in Minnesota, Pride season is from May, starting in Rochester, to September, I think ending in Bloomington. So yeah, happy Pride. Let's keep being gay.